How easy is it to make malware? Well, in Python, it's extremely simple. And in this video, we're going to cover how we can make very simple malware for your understanding, how you can reverse engineer, and understand how red teaming actually works. So let's dive in. First of all, let me just state thank you for your support, much appreciated, and to highlight that everything described in here is meant for educational purposes only. We're back showing you that we have an Ubuntu screen open, ready to be typed in so that we can actually create our ransomware file. So, what are the things that we're going to need to do? We're going to need to traverse the directory, finding files, and we're going to need to encrypt those files. And so the functionality that we're going to need is going to be utilized in what is import from OS and import from a cryptography functionality that's available to us in a Fernet library. So first things first, I want to show you with an ls. I'm going to cat here our password list that has a super secret and super strong password. We're going to also take a look at secrets. And secrets isn't very secret and just has a simple hello. But we also have, as you can see, this is a directory. And it's going to be important to show you exactly what's going on here. But first things first, I am going to open up everyone's favorite text editor, Nano. And we're going to create a file of ransomware.py. And we're going to import that OS. I just mentioned that we're going to need functionality for listing basically this directory and being able to traverse this directory. And this is what that type of functionality is going to be used in. We're going to also import, from Crypt. Hold on. Need to know how to spell it. Cryptography, Fernet, import Fernet. This is going to be able to generate our key that we're going to be used to encrypt. So I always have trouble spelling cryptography and have to sound it out and rewrite it like 3 or 4 times. But with that being said, how are we going to know which files we're being able to traverse and making sure that we have it? We're going to create a list, an empty list, and we're going to append. Once we find a file, we're going to append that. And so how do we do that? Well, for file, in os.list directory, we're going to say files, append, file, and I am going to want to do a sanity check right now, make sure that we aren't getting any errors or our interpreter is working correctly. So let's just go ahead and hit print files to make sure that we grabbed everything. It'll be something important to show once we get a chance to take a look at it and understand it. And I left off list directory. So this is why we're doing that sanity check here. All right. Thing to take note of here. It's grabbed our password list.txt, secrets.txt, and our ransomware.py. Ransomware.py. It also identified this is a directory. So a couple things here that we're going to want to make sure of is A, we're not going to want to encrypt our ransomware.py file. Next thing is also it grabbed that this is a directory. We're not going to want to encrypt that. we're going to want to encrypt the files in that, but not the actual encryption of this is a directory. So a couple ways that we can take a look and do that. So let me go ahead, and we have this. We can use an if statement. If file equals ransomware.py, we're going to just simply continue on, bypass this. We don't want anything else associated with the ransomware.py. Okay. Now, let's also, if os.path.isFile, and we're going to take a look at what it grabbed. If that's actually a file, we're going to then want to append it. So let me go ahead, tab over for that. That's what we're going to append. So let me go ahead and make sure. Let's do another sanity check. And I'll have a drink of my coffee once we make sure we're doing that. All right. As you can see, we have just grabbed the files that we want to take a look at and encrypt. Coffee break with my favorite I Believe in Santa Paws. And next, we're going to clear our screen. I'm going to go back into our favorite text editor. Remember. Alrighty. Now, what's the next thing that we need to do? We're going to go ahead and generate a key. I want to generate a key, and we'll call it that. So how do we do that? Well, we're going to get back in to the library, the Fernet library, and there's a generate key functionality that we're going to use. And I am then going to show you what this magical key will look like. So save. And this is our key. This is the key that we're going to use to encrypt and to generate the encryption functionality. So we're going to go back, traverse for each of those files and files. We're going to take the contents out of that, say we want to encrypt them, and then we're going to pass it back into those files again. So we're almost done here, but we're going to go ahead. I'm going to delete this for now. And we're going to say, for file in files, right up here, all of our files. What are we going to do with those? We're going to say with open, and we're going to say file, and we're going to read it, the bytes, and we're going to go ahead and say as the file, the underscore file, contents equals the file dot read. So what we're doing is we're opening up that file. The first one's going to be secrets.txt, or the password.txt. We're going to say we're going to open it. We're going to give it an alias as that or the file. We're going to say then, give me the contents. I want the file.read, put the contents in there, and that's where we're going to encrypt and exchange out. So we've grabbed the contents. Now we're going to say contents. What are they going to be? They're going to be encrypted. And how we're going to do that? We're going to use our handy dandy Fernet key, and we're going to encrypt the contents of that. So now, in this juncture, we've taken the contents from our file, we've put it into contents, we're encrypting those contents, put it into contents encrypted, and then we're going to write it back. That's correct. We're going to file, and we're going to write binary as, we'll just use the file again. and the file dot write contents encrypted. All right, so now we have imported OS or cryptography, an empty file that is going to go through and take a look and find all the files in the current directory. If it's a file, and as long as it's not our Python file that's doing all the encrypting, we're going to generate a key and then go back through, open it, get the contents, put the contents in, encrypt them, and then open it back up and write them. We're going to go ahead and save this. We're going to say, this is the moment of truth. And we're going to go ahead and ransomware.py. Let's go ahead and clear ls. Good. Let's cat that password list.txt. Alrighty. And as we see here, this super secret strong password has been encrypted using the key. And we're going to also go ahead and cat secrets.txt. And as you can see here, this is, again, encrypted. So it's changed from clear text to gobbledygook. Now, in the next video, we're going to dive into decrypting this. So we've showed the encryptor. We've shown for your red teaming engagements how this works. We are making sure that we can go ahead and encrypt all this type of stuff. Let's take a look at how we're going to decrypt on the other side. Make sure to drop comments down below if there's something that didn't make sense, want me to go through it again, or if there's a topic of interest. And until then, check out one of the next videos that you see here, and we'll see you soon.